Hello, Legionnaires. Heathen Dog here, and today we're going to talk about Palladium Books Systems Failure. Now, this is a requested RPG, and I went through it throughout the week, and I'm gonna tell you about it. Little bit up front. The picture we're looking at here, it's not wrong. Bugs bad, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna tell you why they're bad and how they got to be bad right now.
We believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds. The focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. Here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday Night Show stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Please like this video and leave a comment to appease the algorithm gods. Share this video on your favorite social media platforms to help us peer out of the shadows cast over us. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG goodness.
All right. And for some reason, you didn't tell me to share the screen, so I blame you.
It's first time on the show. It's weird.
There we go. First time on the show. There you go.
Oh, you also need to drop yourself to the top. There you go. Bam.
Oh, there you go. Drop myself to the
now,
top.
before he starts, I have not read this book. I flipped through it at one point, and I read a blog about it about a year ago. I am very interested in this game. I think it would be a neat something to run for a short-term investment. I wouldn't want to stake my entire, rest of my life campaigning on it. I'd rather do After the Bomb. But my point is, there's a lot about this game that I'm very interested in, but I don't know a lot about it. Heathen Dog's going to tell us about it, and I'm scared.
No, don't be scared. It's all fine. It's all good. Now, the background of this is pretty simple. It's 1999, December 31st. That's where the background information starts.
Y2K, baby.
Y2K, fools. Oops. Here we go. Now, the whole thing is that Y2K was a big nothing burger. All right. I'm still pissed off that I had to stay at a network operations center during New Year's Eve 1999 and New Year's Day 2000. Away from the greatest parties ever because something might happen that everyone knew wasn't going to happen.
That was the Y2K guy from my office, but just my office. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So I hated it. It sucked. This is a sore spot in my life. Along with the fact that I was in Washington, D.C. for 3 years. I never got to see the fireworks because I was on call every you know what? Nope. Going to move on. Okay. So it starts off. I don't like this, but it is justifiable narrative where the background isn't told to you like many other Palladium books as a story. It's told to you as a conversation between other people. You are a fly on the wall on events that are happening. And the first wall you're on is on this message board in 1999, December 31st. It's minutes before New Zealand hits midnight. And you get a whole bunch of people who are not partying themselves, or to be fair, some of the people in this chat room are hours and hours and hours away from it being, New Year's where they are. So I get it. Okay, fine. But as midnight strikes in New Zealand goes dark, completely dark. It's on the news. It's everywhere. Oh my God, no, we have no communication in and out of New Zealand. All the internet's dead. All the TV stations are dead. Satellites aren't transmitting anything. What the hell's going on? Oh my God. And then the next hour hit and boom, another time zone went dark.
So Y2K did hit.
Kind of. Coincidentally, absolutely coincidentally, at this moment, the actual enemy decided to strike. Now, what is this enemy? Well, if you go through this entire conversation, you see it starts off with people talking about their plans, talking about Y2K, it's going to be a big nothing, like they were right, but here it ended up not being a big nothing. Here, Womp Rat, who is in New Zealand, counts down. When he gets to 3, it stops. No one can get a hold of him. Always want to play it, probably never will. No, hang on.
But thank you for the $10. But it gets down to 3. Nothing. Well, something did happen. Got $10 super chat. So thank you, Seth McPulton. Appreciate that.
And thank you, Womp Rat. Okay. So everyone else is like, "Hey, where'd Womp go? Oh, he fell offline. Happens all the time. It's great. Probably got bumped. Calm down. Stop screwing around. Y2K. Oh my God, Y2K." And like, shut up, dude. Everyone knows Y2K is bullshit, and they were right. But this is what happened.
Dude, the New Zealand government said it's dead.
Yes, the internet from New Zealand was gone.
Okay, it's a dumb island out in the middle of the ocean. They're probably playing around with their kangaroos or something. How many people live? Like, they don't allow anything nuclear on the damn island, so they have no power.
Well, now they have no communication either. All right, and then you got this guy Rooster. He's like, "Oh, I'm in the know. I'm in the secret organization back in 1988. Blah blah blah. We're supposed to watch this stuff, so this is real. Go find a bunker, get some food. You're in trouble." Everyone's like, "Yeah, shut up, dude. Nobody cares. This is just a thing." And then it starts going over and over. The time zones go, and it starts following the time zone.
And binary people start entering the room.
Then we get chat host 101010111211.
Yeah, well, that's not binary then. I thought it was binary, but then I saw the 2. Yeah. I thought I saw 2.
All of these people, supposedly people who came online who aren't talking until everyone's gone, and then the first one there says site is secure, move on to next, secure and deactivate, await further orders from the swarm lord. And then everyone leaves to go to the next chat room. Does it sound ominous? Yes. Does it sound like
sounds like a practical joke?
Doesn't really affect normal people? Also, yes.
Sounds like a practical joke.
Sounds like that. But then we move on, and it skips to a whole year. And this apparently is on a CB radio. Anybody out there? CQ, this is Night Flyer calling anybody in free America. Over. If anybody is receiving me, please pick up. CQ, this is Night Flyer calling anybody in free America. Over. Then it comes down to something else. So come on down to your good old Uncle Roscoe's right in the heartland. We've got more guns and ammo than you can shake a stick at. And with what's been going on lately, you better stock up fast. And we don't take cash neither. No, trade goods only here, folks. That means gold, silver, canned foods, grain, laying hens, and the like. And if you bugs are listening, then come on down too. I got some bullets with your name on them. So it goes through several different sections of the world, sections of society a year later. And you start piecing together what happened. During midnight on December 31st, 1999, or more appropriately, when it hits midnight, it's January 1st, 2000, an event happened that brought an alien species to the planet. And this alien species really, really loves electricity. Okay. Loves it. But they don't want you to have it. They want them to have it.
Then just find a planet with a magnetic pole, wrap it with some wire, and have a good life.
Apparently that's us.
Oh.
We don't know where they came from. This could be the greatest smorgasbord ever for EM Field. I don't know, maybe. Then we get off. Oh, here's my favorite. Here's the Michigan militia. This is WPAL, the voice of free Michigan. We're coming at you live from the peninsula, where the land of the free and the powder is dry. Happy New Year 2002. This is the big K-man on the line, broadcasting until my batteries geek or the bugs come get me, whichever happens first. And that brings me to the big question of the day. What have you heard about these bugs? I've got some folks telling me they've got alien invaders running around our electrical and phone lines.
How's he doing this from 3 years in the future?
No, again, the background skips.
Okay.
Goes up to 2009, where the game actually begins.
Oh, okay.
Other people telling me it's all a big government conspiracy. And I've got other guy that says that it's just our way of finding anybody to blame but ourselves for the mess that we're all in. He's got a point, we hit that big brick wall of Y2K, and once the world went dark, everybody just flipped. I'll bet you a week's worth of D-cell batteries that there isn't a single, remember D-cell batteries? That was fun. There isn't a single city that ain't got a serious anarchy festival going on, or a single country that isn't either at civil war, international war, or just plain falling off the deep end. This could be it, this could be the end of everything. And here I am spending it on the peninsula, broadcasting to all you fine people from Windsor to Wisconsin. It continues, it goes, it builds on people discovering the real answer. Remember, without the internet, without telephone, without satellites, without all that stuff, information is going to spread more slowly, especially correct information, because everyone knows panic spreads faster.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, since it happened exactly at midnight, wherever you were, Y2K was the big culprit, because that's what everyone was primed for. Oh, got to watch out for Y2K. Oh, got to watch out for this. So when something does happen at exactly that moment, I mean, it's almost logical to assume that was it, right? Well, sure, it takes time for the real information to disseminate without our usual, packets of information flowing from one country to another. Now it's, the Pony Express all over again. It's crazy. But it starts to get into more firsthand accounts at what's actually going on. And here's what's actually going on. At midnight in New Zealand, during Y2K, was it a causal factor? Was it a precipitating factor? Was it a coincidence? The game doesn't really say either way, but from what it does say, I'm going to say it was a coincidence that a small portal was opened on our planet from somewhere else, and these bugs came through. Now, when I say small, I mean minuscule, pinpoint. Well, how do giant bugs get through? Well, these giant bugs can, funny enough, turn into energy and fit hundreds at a time through that pinpoint hole.
So mini black holes, which were actually wormholes, created a singularity, and they came through the singularity. Okay.
Yes. Now, they are energy beings some of the time, which means they can jump into electrical lines and move to anything connected to that electrical grid. Any machine that is connected to the grid has no defense against them.
This is starting to sound like splicers.
Yes. Any machine that they touch, turn in energy they can jump into and take control of it. Any electrical device. Tanks, ICBMs, planes, trains, automobiles. Yep. Well, except for steam trains, obviously. Fair. So no one was ready for this. And anyone who tried fighting them found out very quickly that all of your base now belonged to us because everything runs on electricity. There's the problem. You have to fight these giant bugs. And when I say giant, don't worry, we're going to get there. When you got to fight these giant bugs with nothing but crossbows and pea shooters and sticks, slingshots, axes and swords and stuff, it doesn't work out. Not really. There's lots of them and they're very tough. And you would want Stinger missiles. You would want guided missiles. You would want cluster bombs, but you don't get any of those because they run off of something called electricity.
And what about just a frag grenade?
A grenade would work. It runs off of a
dumbfire missile would be fine though. So not a missile. Start launching rockets at everything.
That would be great. The problem with that is less precise. Yeah. And bugs have natural armor, which means area hits don't do as much damage.
Is this an MDC game or SDC game?
It's an SDC game.
So good. Then missiles will still hurt them.
It'll still hurt them, but it won't do as much damage. Plus, if your enemy can turn into energy and be immune to physical damage, that sucks too. Which they can, and they do. So that's great. So that's what this part is starting to give to the reader,
Mhm.
all the stuff here. And then it goes to this is the diary of Jimmy Gillis. This is the diary of a random kid whose family is trying to survive. Spoilers, they don't. But it starts off with Jimmy talking about he has to write this in a diary because his mom and dad say he's not allowed to use a computer anymore.
Can't play my video games,
Can't
stupid
play his video
bugs.
games, can't do all that stuff. So he's got to write this diary. And the diary talks about the trials and tribulations of life where he is affecting his family specifically. And soldiers came to the door one day and said, "Hey, we're gathering all the civilians in one area for protection. We have sufficiently blocked them from hitting any more military vehicles. We put EM hardening on all of our stuff so they can't take it over, and it makes us highly resistant to their energy range attacks. By the way, they also can shoot energy bolts from their eyes
So
or
did that
from them.
EM hardening actually work?
It wasn't actually real because these are not normal humans anymore. No, these are infected. The bugs brought with them little tiny other bugs called silkworms. You jam them up the nose of a human being, they
Oh,
go into
yum.
the brain, and then they take over the body like Gould
Didn't I see that on
from
Wrath of
Stargate.
Khan? Nose,
No,
ear,
no, no, no.
whatever.
It's more like Stargate, where they completely take you over, not make you
Oh,
susceptible to suggestion. They completely take you over. All of these soldiers were taken over, and they're trying to gather civilians into one place to make it easier to enslave or kill them all. Well, Jimmy's mom was like, "Oh, thank heavens." Jimmy's dad was like, "I don't buy it. I don't buy it." And so Jimmy's dad said, "Hey, army guy, get to stepping. We'll stay right here, thanks." And the army guy got tough. Jimmy's mom got dead.
oh,
Jimmy and his dad ran away.
is that the cover of the book?
Could be the cover of the guy and the little kid with the bug coming
Yeah.
in. Could be. And then it goes about talking about Jimmy's life now on the run between 2005 2006. Mom died July 11th 2005 because July 10th 2005 is when the bughead soldiers came, and it's all in caps, which upsets me, but I understand. I don't want to have a worm shoved up mix my nose and become some kind of zombie or something. Yeah, I understand, Jimmy. That's good. 2007. Dad says I must write this, so I'm doing it really fast because there's no time. There are worm people all over the place, and Dad has his gun and he says he is going to shoot them, but I'm afraid they're going to get us. They were running throughout an entire year toward where it was cold because his dad figured bugs don't like cold, so they won't even go up there. You're right, they wouldn't. They send bug infested people up there instead. Dad says it's okay and we will either get away or we'll all see mom again soon. Wow. Those are your two options. That's right. I'm really scared. Please help. Please, anybody help, please. Jimmy died.
Oh,
Jimmy died.
poor
And then
Jimmy.
it gets to 2009, which is the now of the game. And now you have more complete information. And this is done by the Wyoming Free Irregulars Trainee Handbook, 3rd edition. This is as if you were entering the Wyoming Free Irregulars Resistance Force, and this is what you need to know. So this has the most reliable game information. Before your real training starts, it's best you know the state of the world you want to fight for. You can't commit to something like the Wyoming Free Irregulars without knowing all the facts. Otherwise, you're just fooling yourself. So, for all you slowpokes, newbies, and greenhorns out there, here's the deal. Take it from me, the old cowgirl in charge, because nobody else is going to lay it out plain and straight. Everybody thought they was ready for Y2K. Maybe they were, but they weren't ready for the bugs.
They put that in the manual? Get an editor.
Yep.
They was.
Well, come on. Editors are not a thing that's around now. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, let that go. In this case, grammar mistakes are in lore.
No, I get that. I wasn't blaming Kevin. I'm just saying, like. Okay, I don't even know anybody who would write like that. But go ahead.
We don't know anyone 10 years after an apocalypse either. So
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
When the big date hit, just about everything went down. I mean, we're talking total systems failure. Oh, look at that. There it is. Utilities all went offline, air traffic control fritz, military systems geeked out, and that was just the beginning. Most of us can remember the days after when the food riots and the looting tore this country and pretty much the rest of the world apart. The government did its best to lock things down, but the harder they tried, the worse it got. It was like all the pressures of everyday life had built up this gut full of hate in everybody, and now that the system had crashed, they could let their hate take over. This was the beginning of the bad times, what we call the meltdown. Okay, I think this is a little drastic, but weak people do freak out when something goes wrong and they start panic and cause problems. I do believe that because it happens every single time.
Yep. I mean, we just saw that a couple years ago.
Yeah. Only the meltdown was just the tip of the iceberg. What nobody knew then, but what we know now, was that somewhere else in this universe was an alien race of intelligent insect things waiting for their chance to come to this world of ours and take it over. Yeah, you heard me right. Alien invaders. Seems almost comical to say, but it's true. Y2K caused a big hiccup in the world's energy grid, and somehow these bugs were able to tap into that and create a doorway between their world and ours, a bridge through space. Millions of them came through. Millions worldwide. Seems the bugs can convert their bodies into pure energy whenever they want. So they were able to enter our electrical lines, telephone lines, cable lines, you name it. So when things started coming back online, the bugs had the planet covered. It was worse in the big city. It was worst in the big cities and around major, that was for you, and around major power plants. It seems our multi-legged friends like to eat raw energy, and the stuff we pump out is like a juicy T-bone to them. What's worse, the bugs can 100% deactivate any electrical device just by zapping it with a beam of bioelectric energy they fire out of small bio cannons growing out of their shells.
Yum.
What?
I said yum.
Yum. The machines they don't zap, the bugs can enter and take over. Within a month, at least 90% of the country's mechanized armed forces belong to the bugs. Thanks for the army. After a while, the bugs started rounding people up and bringing them to the nearest MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area, where they were set up in big camps. Once you go to these places, the bugs hit you with some kind of mind control gas that makes you really numb and docile. You'll do whatever they say. Then they walk you over and they put a goddamn bug in your brain called a silkworm. They're about the size of a big fat slug, and they crawl up your nose into your brain cavity and pretty much override your brain. The person you were is gone, and your body is now the host for its new bug pilot. And the grub can access your memories and skills. So this is now gone from an Independence Day alien invasion disaster to an Independence Day with a beautiful side order of screw you with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Double whammy. You got layers to this apocalyptic onion.
So how do we fight back?
I'm sure we're going to get to that. Before too long, there were legions of bugged humans running the power plants of our old electrical infrastructure, providing a 3-course meal to the rest of the invasion swarm in the form of electrical power. As far as we can tell, there are literally millions more humans being held in a drug stupor waiting to be bugged. That's what we're fighting for as much as anything, to save the folks who haven't been bugged yet. I hate to tell you, but those bugged are gone. Their brains cannot be saved, at least not by any method humans know.
Not until Daniel Jackson figures it out.
Daniel Jackson died in the first attack.
Oh.
The only hope is to rescue those who have not been bugged yet and get them to free America, any place the bugs haven't already sunk their claws into. To free the land, we must first free the people. Free the people, we can squash every last one of those damn bugs. Don't bet on it. It won't be pleasant or easy. The bugs are no pushovers. They stand at least 6 feet high with an exoskeleton tougher than most body armor, claws that can rend steel, and organic energy weapons growing right out of their frickin' bodies. Sure, they die if you pump enough lead into them, but if they can get into a working electrical socket or a telephone outlet, they can just convert to energy and escape. And here's the cool thing. It doesn't say it here, but the bugged have 2 purposes. No, 3 purposes. 1, keep the electrical grid going because bugs eat energy. So you got to keep those power plants going. Those coal-fired power plants, the hydro power plants, well, they didn't have solar farms this early at a mass scale, but all the, geothermal plants, all that, keep them running to keep the bugs fed. 2, keep the infrastructure repaired. You have to make sure the power flows. Or, if we were doomed, the spice must flow. But we're here, the electricity must flow. And 3, if you have those 2 things, power going and power going everywhere, all of the electrical outlets are just a way in for any bug infiltrator or any bug assault. That phone line.
Why do I feel like Tremors? This needs to be a Tremors world.
It's a little bit like, because think about it this way. Even if you unplug all of your machines, as long as your electrical grid is still on, a bug can jump out of your outlet or your phone outlet or whatever and enter your house. You have to literally cut yourself off from the grid. But that's a way to know where you are. Because the people in charge of infrastructure maintenance are bugged. They're going to say, oh, this was cut. For some reason, there are free people in the area. Let's go find them.
There's an outage in your area. We'll be there in a moment to fix it.
Exactly. Fix it means fix you.
Oh.
Fix your little red wagon. And that is... and then it talks about NORAD. NORAD still exists because NORAD, being the nuclear strategic facility that it is super hardened to any EM stuff and has its own independent power generation situation. So it actually lasted through the initial assaults and the assaults afterward, just because of where they are and how they are. Come on, they're in the middle. They're underneath a mountain. So have fun with that, bugs, right? And here is the last vestiges of the US government. That's it. What are they doing? Well, they're trying to find a way to fight back against the bugs. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look good. It's early days, sure, but still, they've had 9 years and they're not winning. All right. So there's that. So that's where we are. That is basically the background of this whole thing. And it gets into the rules of the game after that, which are Palladium. That's fine. If you go over any of our Palladium first stuff from last year, and you'll find the Palladium rules. That's fine. But that's where we are. That's where you as the player come into this world. It's 2009. The bugs have basically won the initial war, and now it's a Terminator-like resistance of the rest of the humans that are left.
So are humans just in their way?
Like humans are necessary because they need to keep the energy flowing. So they're not in the way. The free humans are in the way. They need to have enough humans that they can control and keep breeding so the species doesn't die out. That's the amount of humans they want. They haven't gotten there yet. They're working on it.
Okay. All right, so we have... That's good. After the bomb has pleasure bunnies, systems failure has ladybugs. I was like, that's good. I like that. I like that. That was a good one.
That hurts.
People underestimate how horrid giant bugs are if you just see one. No, I don't underestimate that. Even little bugs have horror factor to me. So believe me, this world would have me shooting everybody. How do I know you're not a bug? Especially now that I know that
bugs in your brain.
Yeah, they can put bugs in your brain. I trust nobody. My wife's dead. The cats are dead. Heath Nug's dead. You come anywhere near me. If I can see you, and it's within range of my firearms, you're out.
Okay. Now the whole bugged people, you can only tell immediately that they've been bugged if, number one, that bug in the brain exists, and number two, it's been less than a week since they got a bug in their brain. Because when they put the bug in, it actually bruises their nose, breaks their nose a little bit as it climbs up, because it's a little too fat to fit through the nasal bone, and it breaks it, and it causes bruising around the nose, under the eyes. That's the only way you know someone's been bugged, or someone could be punched in the face, but likely been bugged. But after that heals, nothing.
You're bugged.
They have all their memories, all their skills. They can fake being that person.
Shoot him anyway.
Okay, shoot him anyway.
Let's see, where are we? Oh wait, I just read that one. So if this is a sci-fi story by Frederick Brown called The Waveries, except the bugs were microscopic and lived in the atmosphere.
Maybe, that would be even scarier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but that's possible. I'm sure this isn't the first time this story's been done.
I recognize Frederick Brown and the title, The Waveries, but I don't remember. I don't think I read anything about it.
I know I did not, but could be. This might not be a unique story. Always wanted to live off the grid. Well, now you have the impetus to do so.
Yes, now that's it. Everyone's gonna follow your blinding example. It's beautiful.
And then this is for all you new people. I have one rule: everyone fights, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Welcome to the Roughnecks.
That's basically it. Yeah, I mean, when you're fighting a guerrilla war like this, it is, you either toughen up or you get dead, and that's it. There is no time for pacifists in a resistance situation. You're a worthless being. I'm not going to feed you because you are not supporting the cause. So you can suck it.
So 2 more. I don't know if I understand this one. So Violence Sells Everything, and Rumble says, I think he's talking about the bugs.
Okay.
It says, and has a grudge against humanity for something we did to them in the past.
Not these bugs. Maybe some other bugs, but not these ones.
That may have been.
It may have been something else we don't remember.
And then, so he's talking about this game. He said this game could have been so much more if it was expanded upon, but as a Y2K joke, it never got any support. And was it? It mostly used the bugs as another minion for Night Lords and Nightbane. And I know you're going to get to that at some point. Something similar to that. So
yeah, I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but yeah.
Oh, so he says yes, those bugs. It's mentioned in the scene with the president when the bugs speak to him.
Oh, right. Yes. It alludes to the fact that they've done something, that humanity's done something to them, but no one knows what.
Well, I don't know, but probably all the times I used a lighter and an aerosol can and burned a lot.
That wasn't them. It was like, think of it this way. You're probably upset when someone kills a chimp, right?
Nope.
No, it's an animal.
I hate monkeys.
Okay, fine. Normal people are upset if someone just kills a chimp for seemingly no reason, or for food or whatever. It's gross. You don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And a chimp shares over 98% of the DNA with us. It's the same thing with these super energy bugs and the bugs on our planet. Sure, 98% are the same. Yeah, but that 2% is where vast horizons exist. All right. So not really the same thing. So if you want to be mad about that, fuck you. No, you're just retarded. No, stop it.
Okay. Well, with that said, what are you covering next?
Next, we're going to go over the OCCs and RCCs introduced in this book, and we're going to see exactly what the player is playing with and playing against in this system.